Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to be doing a bit of a channels update. This is going to be on the Ideas channel that we publish it, but we're almost certainly going to cross-post this. There's four things, for the most part, that we are going to be mentioning or talking about or working our way through, and that is, first, we actually have 3 channels and a Twitch, which is why we have Generalist Gaming here. Second, we are going to be putting more effort into our non-gaming channels, I think, proportionally, because the whole idea is this generalist business, and if we're just specializing in the gaming channel, we're kind of actually missing the mark with our overall goal and trajectory, like just in terms of what I want to be doing, not necessarily what I'm getting the most feedback for. Most of the feedback I would get is on the gaming channel. It's by far the biggest channel, and so just wanted to mention that. Third, we are going to be looking for crossover opportunities between the channels. Generally going to be, we're going to talk about that a little bit more. And then fourth, we are going to be talking about transformation as a performance, and we're going to be getting into that. So first off, we have 3 channels. We have the gaming channel, which is actually what most of the people, even though we're going to be posting this on the Ideas channel, most of the people here are probably going to be watching from the gaming channel, where I mostly cover or play the game Victoria 3, which is a sweaty grand strategy game that's largely focused on economics, and I know some of you who are from that channel will be like, why is it called Generalist Gaming? You only play one game, you're a Victoria 3 specialist. The Generalist refers to, as an individual, not the type of gaming we're engaged in, very certainly engaging in the specialized gaming. And Victoria 3 is in the Victorian era, for those of you who were wondering why it was named that. And we do a lot of guides and videos on that. The second channel we have, and this is actually the first channel, is the channel that this one's posted on. For the most part, this was my very first channel. It doesn't get very much love. We have 3 to 25 subscribers here. Shout out to you guys. But this, we've largely done mainly book reviews, and I really want to ramp up what we're doing on this channel, because to me, philosophy and worldview and this type of stuff resonates the most with me. It just never got any traction, and I think that despite it not getting traction and expecting not to get as much traction, we're going to scream into the void on this one, which was what we did with the very, very first things that we uploaded. We have a ton of book reviews on here, but the very first things we uploaded was these terrible mind map reviews, which is just we would just a voiceover plus explaining kind of how we were thinking through stuff. And I actually had a ton of fun doing this and trying to work out models of thinking how we think about reality and this type of thing. And I think that I'm not necessarily going to be doing these mind maps, but getting back into the roots of this is definitely not something I would be opposed to. So we have that, and then we have the strength channel, which, for those of you who don't know, I lift quite a bit. I'm starting to get back into it. Logistics is a little bit of a complication for me, because currently without a car, so we are walking to the gym, but we're getting back into it. And in particular, I deal with strength training, focusing on general strength. So most people do weightlifting or powerlifting or strongman, and we're kind of doing all 3. The things that are focused on the For You are all my one-arm lifts, which are kind of some of the odd lifts, but we do bench, squat, deadlift, clean and jerk, snatch, and just kind of a quick, I guess we could show a quick little bit of one of the videos here. A little bit of a sketchy one.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
And so this is the intro to one of our videos for our attempting a 675-pound squat. If you wanted to check that out on the channel, that is what we got ourselves into at the very start. But this is pretty heavy. But we're mainly focused on strength here. I definitely want to start posting here more, doing a combination of mainly just workout reviews, tutorials, and then maybe checking out certain strength athletes, this type of thing, but focus into it a bit more, or as kind of generalizing between ideas, gaming, and strength is of course the idea. And then finally we started Twitch. It's super bare bones right now. We're working on it, but I think that the Twitch is a little bit of an inspiration to me, because the Twitch annihilates the VODs after a period of time, which to me is actually really nice, because this means that we can focus, or we could just kind of do everything through the Twitch. So we've had a few streams where we talk about our program design for powerlifting, for example, and we can do this and then it'll be annihilated eventually, and we don't have to worry about the VODs being inconsistent and having to have separate channels and this type of thing. And so I'm going to try and have at least one stream a week, I think, for each of the channels, the Ideas, Gaming, and Strength, and the streams will be available, you know, on the YouTube front in terms of the live. I mean, there's a ton of live ones for the gaming. We could scroll all the way down, and we could see that there's a ton of streams that we've done on the YouTube for the gaming, but not much for the other ones. And we're going to try and have a little bit of a unified thing because we can now dual stream through Twitch. And so as far as the generalizing goes, Leonardo da Vinci is like a huge inspiration for me, and the process of trying to intentionally like better ourselves. This has been a very important thing to me, which is why trying to get stronger, you know, which is measurable, quantifiable. Strength is, you know, other physical exercises aren't necessary. Not necessarily like if we were to do martial arts or something like this. Martial arts is also expensive to do, but also trying to better ourselves through reading books and this type of thing. And so, okay. Now, the thing I wanted to talk about as well is we're going to also be doing some more crossover type stuff, I think. For those of you who don't know, we did a charity stream on the Gamming YouTube where we played a ton of Victoria 3 as Ukraine while doing a charity for Project Hope for Ukraine, and every hour on the hour, as far as a crossover event goes. So this is like, hey, we're doing, you know, we're doing gaming, but every hour on the hour we stopped to do a 5 kind of minute presentation on Putin and why he's horrible and why you should care about Ukraine. And this is, you know, definitely a synthesis of 2 of the channels, right? And so I think we want to engage in more of these types of things. And this is a synthesis of the Ideas channel where we're talking and thinking our way through politics, and also the gaming channel, which is generally speaking not political except for the streams. Like if someone brings something up, then we kind of talk about it, but none of the videos are really political, just the streams. Also streamed on the gaming channel because I knew I would get, if I want to do a fundraiser, I just need to do it on the gaming channel. But this is kind of the thing we are going to be engaged in. And to that end, we have like an example is of another video we want to do on the Ideas channel is why Victoria 3 is so hard to learn, and focus on learning itself and perhaps less on Victoria 3, but it's obvious that that video would be appropriate on either the gaming channel or on the Ideas channel, right? And so something like this is something I've collected notes for. It's kind of like a hard one to really figure out exactly how we want to do it. But that's one that we kind of were interested in doing. Another one is on the lifting channel, was someone interested in doing like, hey, if this philosopher were to have a workout routine, and I suppose we could even do this for a Victorian era country, what would the workout routine be? And you know, like something like Kant would use all machines because he's a bit of a square, or something like this, or Nietzsche would be, everything that Nietzsche did would be like overhead because his idea of the Übermensch involved like a sort of going under or a process of revaluation of all values. And so like a workout for Nietzsche might look like way different or something like this, which obviously this is going to be a synthesis of like philosophy and strength training, right? To make these sort of meme workout videos. But another one also came up, and this came up because I was being a silly willy. And on the gaming channel, when doing a poll for what tutorials people would like to see, someone posted, hey, I would like dating advice. And just for a little bit of context, when I comment or I respond to a lot of the comments here, generally my responses won't get like any more than like 15 upvotes max. So me being a silly willy, I responded to him, if this gets 100 upvotes, I'll do it. It got over 200 upvotes, and so now I've been planning on doing it. I did a follow-up like poll, hey, is this legally binding? I'm mainly joking here because I'm planning on doing it because I said I was going to, and this is my most upvoted thing by like double right here. And then kind of the most upvoted comments is everyone thinks I should do it. So planning on doing that. But when kind of working on this dating tutorial, which, by the way, is a dating tutorial which we're probably going to release April 1st, or this is going to be the general plan, although that's coming up pretty quick, so I guess we got to get to work on that. I have some notes for it, but a digression here. But the point is like, we're processing everything through a Victoria 3 metaphor. So through the metaphor of this sweaty game that has really nothing to do with dating, and if you could pick a game that's like more like not dating oriented, I can't even, like, even Dwarf Fortress is somehow closer, and so like this just like doesn't resemble dating at all, so we're just gonna have to think of crazy metaphors to make this happen. But this is obviously a synthesis of something that should have been on the Ideas channel, and it's going to be on the Gaming channel, and so like this process of synthesis I really like. But while I was doing a bunch of the notes for, you know, or what, as I've been getting together notes for this like dating tutorial, horrible idea for the dating device, I came to the realization that a lot of the things that I'm going to be supporting for come from an orientation of a process of self-development rather than like some sort of technique. And this, to my mind, got me thinking that, you know, a lot of the things I'm going to advocate for are something that I've advocated for in the past, or I actually wrote a book, like kind of early on into the pandemic, called Attention to Agency. I never managed to get a agent to pick it up, and this was, okay, a bit of a bummer. It's 70,000 words. It's not completely finished, but 70,000, it's by far the longest thing I've ever written. If I read this again, I'd probably tear my hair out, because every time you read your old writing, you kind of just like hate it, like low key. But we wrote a giant book, or we wrote a decent sized book. And the central thesis of this book is that the most fundamental resource you have as an individual is your own attention. This is really the site of your control over stuff, and you should use your attention, or there are ways in which you can use your attention in order to become to increase your sense of agency. And so this kind of model of this like thing definitely informs how I would give advice for dating. And so it was making me think of this, and then I also realized that you know, insofar as we're actually following what my prescription would be in this book, is like, I'm not doing a good job, like in terms of personal accountability. And to some extent, I think I'm posting this on my Ideas channel because the fewest people will see it on this channel, but I'm going to cross-post it because I think I have to. But that's like a weird tangential like accountability thing. But I think that fundamentally, I think I'm correct in the fact that structured mental introspection and controlling your attention is at the root of how you accomplish anything, and that this is the side of your control, and it requires both consistency and, most importantly, being proactive. And I think I'm fundamentally just like not proactive in this way that I'm going to advocate for. And to me, this is unsettling because I think there's some hypocrisy, and the notion of being a hypocrite is grating. And so probably going to here, we can scroll back up, because so that way so my thought is that we're going to get after the mental exercises a little bit, and we're going to try and log stuff a little bit, and perhaps have a bit of a simultaneous me talking about what I'm doing, also doing more content on mental exercises that's here on this channel, on the Ideas channel, and also kind of tracking that journey. And so then we see this like transformation as performance. If I am able to change things in my life utilizing the techniques I advocate for, that is to some extent an anecdote that endorses it. Of course, small sample size, n=1. In the end, it's kind of not that valuable, and I think that personal evidence is not necessarily, you don't have a baseline of where I would be without like structured mental introspection, so there's like problems with it. But the fundamental point is, coming back to here, we have a sort of schedule for mental exercise, and yikes, the thing we have kind of cuts off the left side, so let's come in here. We have a structure for mental exercises and a whole bunch of different ones. And to be fair, I made this forever ago. This is not necessarily the ones I would have, like, probably would have relationships and sexuality here, because that's like, oop. we would probably add relationships there and reframe that quite a bit. Let's just have it like that. But we are going to be getting after this and actually implementing what I think is important, which is a combination of mental exercises. And I mean, we're not going to go through the explanation of it here, but I'm just kind of want to publicly say that this is what we're doing. Like, another thing we're doing was we started cutting weight. We're down about like 7 or 8 pounds, but I've done these types of, hey, we started to cut weight things like on the lifting channel before, like terrible weight loss idea, and I'm bigger now than I was then. To be fair, I did say it was a terrible idea. I think that if I scroll down, we can find more like where I'm talking about cutting weight, and obviously has not been successful long term. I guess not, but I think that we're gonna get after this because I think this is effective. We might farm the book stuff for content. As far as the Ideas channel goes, in terms of streaming it on there once a week, we might just like read through a chapter and talk about some of the ideas, something like this, especially if people show an interest in it. But I definitely think that, and I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent. This is supposed to be a relatively short kind of channel update, but I did want to mention that I think structured mental introspection is really important. And this is probably going to be somewhat in the dating tutorial, the horrible idea dating tutorial through the metaphors of Victoria 3. And so this is kind of going to be part of the plan. But just to reiterate, kind of the full main points of the channel update is that we actually have 4 channels, we have 3 channels: the gaming channel, the Ideas channel, which you're looking at right now, the strength channel, and then we also have the Twitch, which we're going to be trying to do a little bit of unifying, or because it just annihilates the VODs, we don't have to worry about the VODs like someone who's subscribed to, I don't want someone from the strength channel who's disinterested in the other stuff getting a bunch of recommendations on the other stuff, and so that's why we're trying to keep it compartmentalized. And then with Twitch, because the VODs get annihilated, we don't really care if it's compartmentalized. And so that's thing one. We're going to be focusing more on the other channels, I think, than the gaming channel. Not because this is smart from a content making perspective, because it's just idiotic, because we have way more traction on the gaming channel. But because I think that it's important for my development as an individual, and this is kind of something I'm just generally interested in, and so I think that in terms of my own happiness, this being more focused on other things is going to be valuable for me, and then we will look for opportunities to have crossover content between the other channels. A few examples that we had mentioned was like the Ukraine stream where, every hour on the hour, we took a little bit of a dragging to Putin. Like, obviously, this is politics. We read several books, like this War Made in Russia. This is about the Ukraine conflict. We did War in Ukraine. We read this in preparation. We also read Gary Kasparov's book again. We reread it. From Cold War to Hot Peace, another book on Russia and U.S. relations. Where is the Gary Kasparov book? It's down here somewhere. We read it quite a long time ago. We've reread it twice, I think. And so Winter is Coming is the Gary Kasparov book. But that's an example of crossover. So with like lifting tutorials for certain philosophers, or even Victoria 3 Nations would make sense. Dating tutorials obviously like doesn't belong in my gaming channel, but if it's through metaphors of the game, it makes sense. And so and then like another one we've been thinking of is why Victoria 3 is so hard to learn, but just talk about learning and cognitive biases more than this. So we're going to be looking for that. And then we're also going to be I wanted to publicly state that I'm not engaged in the actions I think someone should be engaged in if they want to become more competent as an agent, and I am moving in that direction in terms of the structured mental introspection type stuff. And I wanted to mention that because I think that if I'm going to be giving people advice on like dating, and some of that advice is going to be like stuff that I don't even do myself, then that's I shouldn't be doing that. And so also it's obviously a meme video. We're making a dating advice on a gaming channel, but at the same time, I'm trying to take it somewhat seriously. So, yeah. All right, we just passed the 20-minute mark. I think we're going to wrap it up. So that's just wanted to kind of get all that out there. And we're going to cross-post this on the other channels. And so if you guys are wondering what I'm doing on, what I'm focusing on, how I'm trying to change channel direction, this is a lot of it. I have like a list of stuff I want to do to try and like make stuff better. Like you can see, like I need to redo the banners, for example. They're just all super, super generic, but there's a lot of stuff that I want to get after a little bit more. Anyways, that's kind of like a different sort of type of update. But I hope you guys enjoyed, I guess. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe on any of the channels. You can, I think we'll try and leave a link. Maybe we'll be able to leave a link, something like this. But other than that, have a good day.